fire department receiving a grant from the Firehouse Subs Foundation this week to buy a CPR machine. WEAR's Samantha Servin joining us now. And Samantha, the Beach Safety Division Chief says the device is sometimes preferred to human hands.
Right, so if you think about it, CPR can be hard work. You're using maximum effort for sometimes 20, 30 minutes. A machine doesn't get tired.
We can either do continuous compressions or we can do 30 and 2.
Showing us how a Lucas device works, Orange Beach Fire Department's Beach Safety Division Chief Brett Lessinger says this thing performs perfect compressions.
Click play. It's going to do its thing.
Right now, the city only has one of these units dedicated to the beach. That's 8 miles of sun, sand, and water where emergencies can happen anytime.
And that's why we want a secondary device for the beach. Number one, it frees up a set of hands. That's an extra set of provider hands that could work on airway or some other part of patient care that needs to be given. The other thing is perfect rate, perfect depth.
And it doesn't.
And I can't find a seconder usually when I propose this, but I don't care. I don't need a seconder. My own opinion is enough for me, and I claim the right to have it defended against any consensus, any majority, anywhere, any place, any time. And anyone who disagrees with this can pick a number, get online, kiss my ass.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed are greater than the legal services provided by other lawyers. You found the Heart of Dixie Podcast number 16. I'm Harry Steele. I'm an attorney at law in Daphne, Alabama. At least it's still Daphne today. We just had a flash flood ourselves. Nothing like the poor folks in Texas, but you know. So we're joined by Brandon Mosley, our regular co-host, who is the content manager and reporter at the Alabama Gazette. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing fine, Harry. How are you?
I'm good, and our special guest this week is Republican candidate for governor, Ken McFeeters. How are you, Ken?
I'm doing great, Harry and Brandon. Thanks for the invitation.
Yes, sir. So, Brandon, you wrote this story. Tell us about Mr. McFeeters' campaign.
Well, I mean, the presumptive favorite in this race is Senator Tommy Tubberville, but Republican primary voters have a choice, and that choice at the moment is Ken McFeeters. Ken's an insurance agent out of Birmingham. Of course, Ken can tell you all that. Known Ken for years. Pretty staunch conservative Republican.
So we know where he's coming from. So, Ken, tell us about your what led you into politics and what makes you think you're going to beat some guy with a war chest and name recognition.
Oh, well, I've got right on my side.
There you go.
And I'm not the establishment candidate. I mean, nowhere near the establishment candidate. He's got the media. He's got Washington, D.C. behind him. And we're probably in the top 2 or 3 most corrupt states in the nation. And then Tommy's collected more than any other politician in the first month of him running. It's $4 million. No other politician has even come close to that amount of money. It's like, why is everybody just falling all over themselves to throw, millions and millions and millions of dollars at it? I mean, what do they want? I mean, like I said, usually politics, if money could actually give us good politicians, we'd have the best politicians in the world. But it doesn't, and we do not. It usually does the exact opposite, and that's why I'm running.
So if Tubberville were a NASCAR driver, like what patches do you have any information like that for us? Where the majority of his...
Say that again?
Like if he were a NASCAR driver and he had to put his sponsors on his car and on his person, on his outfit. Like what would it say on his helmet? It damn sure wouldn't be Meliella. Would it be Southern Company? Would it be Goldman Sachs?
If you collected more money than any other politician in Alabama, you're going to need a semi-truck to list all the people you owe. I mean, if someone's giving you the kind of money they're giving him, you owe somebody. No one's just going to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars and and does not expect anything in return. And we don't need that right now. We need to get money out of politics. We need someone that's going to represent the people. Not, there's kind of like this race after what's going down in Baldwin County is turning into almost, it's the people, the moms and the dads that are trying to fight the school systems and the establishment, and that do not get contracts from the state government or local government versus the people that are getting contracts from the state and local governments. And that's wrong. And if you can give a couple $100,000 and you expect the gravy train to continue to get those government contracts, vote for Tubberville. If you don't, vote for me. You're not getting government money, government contract money, vote for me.
But the people that control the political dollars for the associations and the corporations and, the influential people, they can read a poll like anybody else. And,
no question.
Tubberville has such an overwhelming polling advantage on any poll I've seen. I mean, that's one reason Ainsworth dropped out, when they were actually declared, was that it looked like he was going to lose to Tommy Tubberville by 20 points. I mean, the associations and the money, they want to have, influence with whoever is in that office. And now, based on the polling, that's overwhelmingly like it's going to be Tommy Tubberville, whether the establishment money in Montgomery picked him or not.
Well, his first, when he didn't announce he was running, he announced he would be our next governor. That first fundraiser he had, he raised $2 million, and the media is behind him, and so is Washington, D.C. They're just calling it that he's going to win. It's a foregone conclusion. Well, there was no association money at that time, to my knowledge. The associations were kind of behind Ainsworth and the establishment, and he got $2 million that first night, and just now the associations are coming on board and starting to give him money. And so there's something strange going on.
Yep. It's Alabama. There's always something strange going on. So it says here
about the money.
So it says here you're the past president of the Mid-Alabama Republican Club. Where exactly is that? Is that Huntsville?
No, it's in Birmingham.
Birmingham. Okay.
It was the largest Republican club in Alabama at the time, and Brandon knows it's a great club, and it's kind of like the heartbeat of the 6th Congressional District. And it's a great place. You get to meet your politicians, and it's not like the Republican Party that was kind of started in opposition to the Republican Party, to where you can just go and meet your lawmakers. And it's a great place to meet and learn and talk and get a good feel for all your senators, your representatives, congressmen, senators. I mean, it's just a great place. Pay $5 for breakfast, eat a biscuit, have a cup of coffee, and rub elbows with the movers and shakers down in Montgomery and Washington, D.C. And no stress. You're not paying $100,000 dinners.
So, any need to go over the fact that the world's round with you? Do we all agree the world is round, not flat? We have to be careful when we're talking to candidates in Alabama. I always keep this up.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about. So we haven't had flooding like this, but of course, as the governor, with hurricanes and floods and who knows what's next, bringing locusts and frogs and but you're in charge of emergency response and potentially would be called upon to call upon the National Guard in a situation like this. Do you feel like
that's devastating?
You feel like, well, I mean, everybody says it's devastating, but are you ready to be that guy?
I don't have a whole lot of choice. One thing in Alabama, though, and I've seen this in other states, usually when there's a tragedy in Alabama, most of the time the local communities take care of themselves. They do get some federal money, but I've seen places in others where they have disasters and tons of money's being raised, tons of money's being sent. People in Alabama help themselves. I mean, you got guys the next day pulling out chainsaws.
Yeah, we got contracts in place down here. All the cities, all the county, everybody's got a contract in place for debris removal and all that kind of stuff.
But a lot of times, the good old boys get out before they do, and they cut themselves out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's got a chainsaw goes to their neighbor's house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's what I love about Alabama. Like if you're in the woods on a motorcycle or a four-wheeler or something, you break down, there's 5 guys there that'll stay there all night with you until you get it going or they pull you out. They help each other in Alabama.
All right, well, let's listen to now this is on the Florida channel, which is kind of like their, how we have YouTube here and they'll put the Alabama House of Representative on YouTube, so they have a Florida channel where it's nothing but public access like this.
My name is Augustus DeRico. I'm the CEO and founder of Rainmaker. We're a cloud seeding company that is enhancing precipitation via advanced radar and also drones for the sake of supplementing water supplies for farms, cities, reservoirs, and wildlife throughout the United States. Our ultimate vision is to end water scarcity, and we've begun that mission already. I'm testifying to not oppose the spirit of this bill, which I think is well-founded, but the current configuration of the bill that I think would impede this mission for ending water scarcity and also for bringing the best-in-class technology to Florida and the rest of the United States. And so the first point that I'd like to make is the difference between solar radiation management and cloud seeding. And so Senator Garcia did bring this up briefly. Solar radiation management is a very new technology.
Essentially, they make the clouds more shiny so that the sunlight bounces off the earth. Everybody get all that? That's not bullcrap. That's real stuff.
The Chinese government is putting a lot of money into weather control systems, to eliminate, because, they got 1.2 billion people to feed, to eliminate drought and weather unpredictability in China. I mean, I hope they succeed. That would be kind of cool. I guess we could, where we get all this excess moisture, down here, especially, during hurricane season, a lot of that is coming all the way from the coast of Africa. If you could turn that the other way and, turn, the Saharan Africa into a breadbasket of the world and, deal with some of the issues in Niger and Sudan and that kind of stuff, that would be cool. If that technology is doable, I'd rather us be in control of it than someone else. But.
Yeah, or no one.
I mean, there's the U.S. Patent Office has got. I mean, I forget how many thousands of cloud seeding patents, and they've been doing this for a long time. They use weather modification again in Vietnam. And what do you think the Chinese did it the last time they held the Olympics there to get all the smog out of the city? Where do you think they learned all that stuff from? Bill Gates is talking about
Germans,
solar modification. I mean, and then they try to tell you it's all conspiracy. There's thousands of patents for weather modification. Our military's been using it for decades since I've been a little kid. So I mean, and then they'll tell you, oh, it's a conspiracy. No, it's not.
No, the Chinese government considers that a very real thing.
Right.
Where do you think they learned it from?
Okay.
But, I mean, they want, not some little, where we can, cause a cloud that's already over there to rain. They want to be able to say, hey, we're going to put 2 inches of rain on this rice, growing region, on, the 22nd of July and be able to pull that off. They're very ambitious goals. Secrecy out of China is enormous, but Hopefully it works.
Or you screw up and drowned a bunch of people in Texas. I think that was the implication here. Not that it's a good thing, Brandon, but that somebody screwed up and we drowned a bunch of kids. I don't think anybody intentionally caused the flood in Texas. And theoretically, this technology would prevent, weird weather deals like what happened there, because that camp where all those little girls drowned. Just like Star ID is going to keep us all safe. Christians in Texas have been sending their kids to their girls' camp for like decades.
Right. So sad.
Okay, so Elon Musk launched a new political party on the 4th of July. Is everyone aware of this? 65% of people on Twitter who follow this egomaniac, South African, wanted to start a South African wants to start a new party in America called the American Party. Y'all like that?
Maybe Elon is doing, reform politics in South Africa before he reforms politics here in the U.S.
That's what I was thinking, that he should go back there and fix everything. They can all be flying around like it's Wakanda. Okay, so we talked all about last time. We were just going to kind of fly through this. So, Ken, you and Tubberville are the two who have announced as Republicans. Are those only Republicans so far, Brandon?
As far as I know, those are the only two I'm aware of running for governor. The big battle is for lieutenant governor, and like everybody's got a cousin or an uncle who's in that. Okay,
so lieutenant governor, we talked about it last time. All of these names are misspelled. I'm aware of that.
We need to spell the names correctly. These are
it's just once they get through the primary, we'll worry about how to spell their names. So state ag commissioner, are we going to get her on next week, Christina? And I don't even think that's how it's spelled.
Yeah, Friday. That's what I'm told.
Yeah, that'll be good. So then, U.S. Senator. So here's a little tidbit, boys. Did y'all see this? Is that a joke? Like a bad joke? Bruce Pearl's
I know a guy that I won't name names, but I have a source who is tried to talk Bruce Pearl into actually doing this.
Bruce Pearl is a jackass. He's a jackass of a person. You ever met him? He's a jackass. He's worse than me.
No, anybody
gonna vote for him?
I don't know if I want him to be the senator, but
well, trust me, he knows it all worse than me, and nobody's going to vote for him.
There will be a challenge to him being on the ballot.
Good, because he's like Hillary Clinton. He moved here 5 minutes ago.
This past election cycle to Shamari Figures, against our Republican Caroline Dobson. And under Republican rules, you cannot donate to a candidate, or a Democrat, an independent, a libertarian, a write-in, anybody other than a Republican. If you do, you're barred from the ballot for 5 years.
And you do, Ken, I don't know if you know this or not, but you do realize that, like, the Auburn University Board of Trustees, the only thing more corrupt is, of course, the self-perpetuating Alabama University Board of Trustees.
Right.
Absolutely just, yeah.
The only thing Auburn did right is firing Tubberville and giving him $6 million to leave.
Yeah, I'm still upset about us. Who was that? Who went undefeated in '93, and then we gave him $700,000 to go away. Damn it, Brandon! Who was that?
That was little Terry Bowden.
Little Terry Bowden. Yes, I'm still. Every time the Alumni Association calls me and they say, "Mr. Steele, did you give us?" I'm still pissed off about Terry Bowden, and I hang up. So, Attorney General Jay Mitchell, Catherine Green Robertson, and Pam Casey are all in the field for that. State Auditor, I can't imagine why anybody would want to do that job unless they were a Chinaman looking for good cover. PSC, Jeremy Odom, the incumbent. We really don't know if Matt's going to run against him or if he's going to run against Beaker, right? Or is that Woodall?
No, I think Matt Gentry is locked into that slot.
Okay, good. And, of course, the big news this week is on the 4th of July, the president signed the big, beautiful bill. And here is the historic down-to-the-wire vote. They only had to kill 3 on-the-fence Republicans' family members to get this thing through. Do y'all know who those 3 people were? No, you never will. So, anyway, as the Democrats predicted, millions are reported dead upon passage of the bill. Did you see that, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, if the Democrats wanted to raise taxes 22% on the average American, they could have done that when Joe Biden was in there and they controlled both houses of Congress. I mean, we as Republicans would not have stopped them.
Yeah, but
that the Republicans, control both houses and the White House, the Democrats are crying and squealing and screaming that we needed to let all of our tax rates automatically increase on September 30th. I
still don't like the big, beautiful bill, and it doesn't matter who's in charge, Democrats or Republicans. It doesn't matter if there's a supermajority of either party. We keep spending money. We keep going in debt. We keep raising the debt.
Yeah, this is $4 trillion of debt.
Right.
Yeah,
it's insanity.
The American people have absolutely no fear whatsoever of, the debt. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I've
not the American people.
For 15 or 20 years. We could have balanced this thing 10 times over. And we won't do it. It doesn't matter which party is in there. Any presidential candidate telling you he will balance the budget is either ignorant or a liar.
Right.
Because again, to cut. I mean, right now we inherited from Biden a $2 trillion a year deficit. Now, $1 trillion of that is interest on serving the existing debt, so you can't cut that. There's no way at this point you can cut $2 trillion out of the budget without going in and taking a knife, I mean, not a knife, but, a axe to Medicare and Medicaid, because that's what's driving the debt more than anything else. That and Obamacare, and no politician, whether he's Republican or Democrat, really has the guts to eliminate health care benefits for 50 million Americans. They just won't do it. Eventually it will happen, but it will be a major economic meltdown when it does, and they're just forced to take it, whatever economic catastrophe we've got going seriously. Hopefully we grow the economy enough that at some point a future administration can get close enough that they can install a 5-year plan to balance the budget. I'm afraid we're just going to have to crash to actually do that, but maybe not.
The other big news this week is that Paramount settled a lawsuit with President Trump. You guys familiar with this? He sued them saying that they edited Camilla's 60 Minutes interview prior to the election, so forth and so on. Of course, is it okay to say that he acts like a gangster and that's something you respect about Trump?
Well,
because
I don't
it's kind of gangsterish that you would come after somebody.
It's not gangster to go get your attorneys and say, hey, we're filing a lawsuit because you misrepresented and were inaccurate in your reporting. And the lawyers,
we're talking about 60
CBS
Minutes.
News has pretty good lawyers.
I can't
When
wait.
they tell you to cave, you need to cave.
I can't wait to see who all could Bernie Sanders sue. Who all could you see the door that you've opened? And I know you're like most Republicans myopic when it comes to Mr. Trump. But this is not a good thing for the press at all, ever. And like Bernie Sanders, holy shit. Who could be further from my position on everything? Except this is wildly reckless of Paramount. They'd have had to, if I was their lawyer, I'd say, guys, we can hire a lot of lawyers for what you're talking about settling this lawsuit for, right? And we're not going to lose.
But if they let this lawsuit proceed in the depositions, given what we know the CBS News did, and can guess what they probably did behind the scenes that you will learn in depositions, it'll be a drip, 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 and just completely, it'll be a story here and a story here and a story here, and their news service and their brand will lose all kinds of credibility.
Good. That's exactly what needs to happen. Cheaper. Absolutely. It needs to crater the shit out of CBS. I hope it's a smoldering hole in the ground.
CBS.
It's the whole media, though, not just CBS. I mean,
CBS is the one here because they're in the lawsuit. But I mean, they're the ones that would have had to answer questions on deposition and present. Every email, every person in the CBS News deal, all of that was going to be subpoenaed, and it all would have come out, and it would have shown a pattern of bias across that entire organization and all of their newsrooms.
But if you're talking about a pattern of bias and a pattern, our national media hid a stolen election. I mean, all the last 4 or 5 presidential candidates on the Democrat side all got 40 million or 60 million, and then Biden got 80 million, or 40 and 60 or 60 and 80.
It's not the money. Every American has the right to donate money. But what I'm saying is CBS News is, Dan Rather. It's Walter Cronkite. It's this big shield of excellence, that they inherited from people that are long since dead. And all of that would have been forgotten if you had 2 years of news stories about how they tried to rig the election for Kamala Harris and how they covered up Joe Biden's senility. And
they covered up a stolen election.
But more importantly,
that election was probably stolen, and we created an insurrection that didn't exist.
Right.
This is America. From the very beginning,
you're talking about them losing credibility.
Involves guns.
The media has no credibility
on January 6th.
The media has no credibility at all.
Okay, guys. Yeah, maybe you hadn't been paying attention,
they
Brandon.
Have their name dragged through the mud like this. This would have been a disaster economically. And my understanding, Paramount is trying to sell off CBS or the whole company or whatever part they can get now, because they don't like where their market share is going in their streaming. And this didn't help.
January 6th defendant convicted of plotting to kill agents who investigated his role in Capitol riots gets a life sentence. And, of course, they had to throw in that he was a white supremacist.
Well, he probably was. But, I don't care who you're trying to assassinate. If you're trying to assassinate people, I don't agree with the politics of, the speaker up in Minnesota. She didn't deserve to get killed. Hey. Your plot. I'm sorry you were, railroaded on January 6th.
Yeah, but these people tried to put you in jail for the rest of your life. There's going to be a little bit of a grudge there. Would you give him a life sentence if you were the judge?
Probably. You're pretty out there when you're plotting an assassination.
Yeah, but did he go to a chat room that the FBI created for him where they said, hey, we've got some explosives. Wouldn't you like to go kill these guys who set you up? Would that change? Would that change things for you, Brandon?
It's like during the war on terrorism. periodically the FBI would trot out.
It's the only way they've ever caught anybody, Brandon. That or their brother fingered them, like they're from Tennessee.
That they talked to, and they got him to say, "Oh yes, we need to go help out Allah, and we're going to bomb, federal building."
Right,
and,
like Ted Kaczynski. They caught him in a hurry.
Would the guy have ever been a terrorist if we left him alone?
Nope.
Maybe
He never
not.
would have been.
He'd
have been the best damn mechanic and bum F wherever he lives.
Yeah, but if you're dumb enough to agree to the FBI that you're your little,
there's lots of people dumb enough, and smart people like us are supposed to look out for dumb people.
I'm for locking you up.
Of course you are. I can't wait to see how big. So Brandon is of the opinion a third of us should work, so we can put the other third in jail and pay the other third to keep us safe from that third that. Just,
I mean, if you look at it, I
can't mix with these people.
Incarcerated is tiny.
We incarcerate more people per capita than Somalia, China. Name somewhere, Brandon. I dare you. Israel? Shit, no. Who incarcerates more people than the state of Alabama? And now we've just made hemp. We just made hemp products illegal. Now,
it's by design. The same people that own the media, entertainment industry, are the same people that own the jail.
That's bullshit. Hoss Mack don't own the jails, and nobody pays him to do any of this stuff. So anyway,
BlackRock does own the jails. BlackRock owns more jails than anyone else. They also
not in Alabama.
The entertainment industry.
They do in Texas. I agree. So the first
no corporation wants to get involved in the Alabama prison system. I guarantee you that. They can't do it as cheap as the state does it.
Okay, so anybody ever driven across the bad part of the south end of Florida? It's a causeway through the Everglades called Alligator Alley.
Many times.
And so now we have Alligator Alcatraz, and the puppy killer and everybody else went down and toured it. And now we're sending 200 Marines down here to make sure that none of these dangerous people get out and get ate by alligators.
The GOP is actually using this as a fundraising tool.
What a great idea.
They're on the 4th of July.
Maybe it is time for a new party. I mean, I've been with this one my whole life.
Messages from the Republican Party saying that if I give a contribution, they will ship me my Alcatraz,
T-shirt.
My alligator Alcatraz or whatever it is, a T-shirt direct to me, as exchange for the deal. It's like, I really want to be, wearing, the latest GOP.
I think it's really cool that we're making money off of human misery and spending my hard-earned money on bullshit. But hey, I think it's funny too, guys. I don't understand why everything. Oh, here we go. Guess what the FBI's doing right now? They captured these 15 guys. They were all trying to break into this house. They were up on the roof with hammers, and they were trying to beat holes in the roof. Have you ever seen them doing that, Ken? All these Mexicans up on the roof trying to break in with hammers, but the FBI stopped them. Thank God. Thank God, Brandon. And so here we have the acting head of ICE is saying, hey, CNN created this app where we can track the ICE agents and the FBI guys so everybody can flee before they get there. That's pretty innovative, right? I mean, as opposed to the other. Oh, another big one. We're shutting down the Hoover building. Apparently, President Trump needs somewhere new to build a hotel. So we're going to demo that thing and move everybody across the river to the.
Now, I did attend the Alabama Republican Party held a fundraiser during Inauguration Week in the Ronald Reagan building. In defense of Cash Patel.
Oh, I'd love to hear this.
I've got my headquarters there.
The director of the new FBI, who's not fired anybody, but it's all completely changed. Is that guy?
They work for us now. They're our guys.
Right. That's just what we want is some Benedict Arnold son of a bitch who'll turn coat and do whatever the guy, this president, tells him to do. None of them have a spine. They're gutless, little worms. They are the guards at Auschwitz. They're the guards at Auschwitz. I thought we were going to get rid of all these dirty-ass FBI agents, not give them all a raise.
It's all a show.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
You know, it is. It's all a show, and that's why I'm running, because the show, people are waking up. And you go back to we were talking about the national debt, and it's no matter who's in charge, it always grows. The way Congress, the Constitution gives Congress the right to coin money. Congress ceded that authority 100 years ago to a small group of men that print money for themselves.
It's a cartel. It's a cartel.
They print money for themselves.
The Federal Reserve is a cartel.
When the United States needs to borrow money, they print money for themselves and then loan it to the United States. These men own BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, and they own controlling interest in all our publicly traded companies and NASDAQ. And people are waking up to this. It's absolutely crazy, and that's why we have endless wars. We've been at war my whole life. Endless wars. The United States government through NGOs and USAID pays for all the illegal aliens to come to the United States. They orchestrate it and pay for it, and then distribute them within the United States, even by airplanes, and they don't have to have the star on the driver's license because they don't have driver's licenses and they can fly. But something's going to happen. The debt's going to explode. People are going to wake up. And when that happens, that cartel is going to blow up, and they're going to do something they're going to have a little temper tantrum.
All right. So
Alabama needs to be able to feed itself. Alabama needs to be able to feed itself. Something's going to happen.
I agree with that. But most Americans, as long as their Social Security check arrives and their grandma, has their Medicare benefits, most of them really don't care.
100% agree.
Okay,
even bother to vote.
But we're smarter than that. We're smarter than anecdotal
And
observations. So let's break it down. Let's break it down.
Nothing happens, but we better prepare in the event Henry Ford.
Okay, Ken, whatever that means, Ken. I mean, come on, man. Look, give me a second. So the Mensis Institute, which is here, it's actually in Auburn, Alabama, except it has nothing to do with the university. You familiar with them? It's an economic think tank right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with Keynesian economic theory, where if we're in a time of economic decline, it's okay to deficit spend because we'll get ourselves out of this slump, and then the taxes will roll in and we'll pay off the debt. So what everyone. Okay, well, yeah, you are, and let me tell you why. Because it's completely fine, and Tubberville's going to win this race, and nobody's going to say a word, because so long as we're spending it on defense, it's the Reagan way. It's what we've been doing this whole time, and it's what Trump did with this big, beautiful bill. It's Keynesian economics through war.
The food chain, that's way down the food chain. I mean, the Federal Reserve and the seven families have been printing themselves money that have literally taken over the world, and they're the ones that are doing all this globalist stuff and trying to lower the population of the world, if you believe the folks in the World Economic Forum. They're trying to lower the population of the planet. That's all these guys. And Alabama better be getting ready for something, because there's some bad stuff happening.
I agree with Ken. Alabama and all the states that can be need to get back in the food business. I don't care how we do it.
Yes.
We used to be a state that was full of farmers, and we decided that didn't make any money, so we became 72% forested. We've got subdivisions and corporately owned pine forest. And unfortunately, we don't grow our own. We raise a lot of chickens here, but we don't grow the grain to feed the chickens here. And all the vegetables and fruits that we eat either comes from Mexico, California, Florida, or Ecuador or someplace. It's, very little of it is.
The poisonous grapes came from Chile. They were Chilean grapes. I remember that. Okay, so look, the food fraud is twice as big globally as the global drug trade. I'm talking about pharmaceuticals, whether it be marijuana or Colombian cocaine, heroin from Afghanistan, or you name it. 2 times the amount of money is fraudulently gained through food stuff products being faked than the entire global drug trade. So, yeah, I think we should do something about it. But we've subjugated ourselves to the federal government, and we turned it over to the USDA, and we're stroking these big checks and trusting these idiots to keep us safe. And so,
but they're not. They're by design destroying the food industry. They've destroyed the small farmers, the family farm, by design. These people, when they control food, they control you. The only way Alabama can remain independent and weather something that's going to happen, it's inevitable. It's just a question of when. Maybe 1,000 years from now, but it's going to happen.
God, I hope so.
You have to be able to feed yourself.
Okay, so we got to do some crime stuff. Does everybody know that the serial killer of the University of Idaho students took a plea deal? They let him plea. Guess why, Brandon? Because the cops screwed up half the evidence. So we got to cut him a deal or this mass murderer is going to go that, Ted Bundy'd these kids in their apartment house or whatever.
Yeah, I really think if the DA had let that go to a jury in Idaho, yeah, they would have got whatever conviction they wanted.
I think so too. I thought it was.
I mean, it avoids a bunch of appeals later. They would never got the death penalty.
Do you know anything about this? This just broke right when we were coming on. An investigation's underway after 4 people were shot dead. And so, do you know the proper way to say this, Ken? Talladega.
Talladega.
Everybody calls it Digga.
Roll Tide.
Digga. So anyway, know anything about that?
No.
It wasn't the mayor or anybody like that, was it? I think we'd have heard of the mayor.
I mean, I know that we have a slaying of 4 people in a house in Talladega. I don't know anything about it. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll be more up to date on this case, but this is very breaking news at the moment.
Right.
I don't think they've even released the names of the 4 people that were killed yet, unless it just has come out in the last couple of hours.
So, do you know why I don't trust women? Because
let's not go there.
Is this a joke?
No. we so not
this
going
is
there.
This is reason number 999. Because after this smoking hot ice princess murdered her husband, she then wrote a children's book about coping with grief. Allegedly, yes, I'm sure that's
Get him a cease and desist.
Yeah, and her last name's Reichens. Okay, so the big news: P. Diddy apparently having a freak off and paying a bunch of hoes. It's not sex trafficking. I mean, you just try. I mean, it's that you just won your 17th Grammy. What are you going to do but have a big, cover the place in Visqueen, get you 5-gallon bucket of baby oil and a bunch of fat girls to slide around on.
I mean, they did convict him of 2 counts of transporting persons for purposes of prostitution, which potentially is 5 years per count.
And that
granted, most of the case, the jury, gave Diddy, the benefit of the doubt, but, they did get him on 2 counts. And, I would not want those to be facing, the judge after that.
That whole story, though, is a diversion. I mean, he, like Epstein, was using the girls in the sex trade to control the content of the musicians to destroy.
Ding. Damn, Ken, you might be governor one day yet.
I mean,
there's no telling how much press coverage the whole Diddy thing has created for the news media. I haven't covered it, but I mean, there were national bills that, did probably a 30-minute newscast, 9 minutes of that's commercials. And, they probably did, 4-minute segments. They're telling how many 4-minute segments they did on the Diddy deal from when he's being investigated to he's indicted to he's arrested to his trial,
Right, that's all nonsense. I mean, he was used to control the content of the music industry and control the musicians on what they could sing about and what they couldn't sing about, to the detriment of our kids in the cities. And I mean, not all kids. I mean, the media is designed to hurt us. And he's one of the ringleaders, and they say, no, it's about prostitution. No, it's not. That's a diversion.
Well, whatever it's about, just be warned, anybody that goes out with J-Lo. So Florida just passed a voters' bill of rights when you have to have probable cause to harass people. So anyway, I thought this was interesting. So on July 4th, the Alabama law enforcement agency said, hey, everybody be safe out on Lake Martin. And guess what happened? A bunch of people got blown up by fireworks. Boom! Yeah, good job, Aaliyah.
And do not drink and drive a boat.
Or stand next to the people who are hired by the state of Alabama and set off fireworks because you might get blown up. Or I don't know that they were.
No alcohol on the boat. Period.
And Florida just recently. Well, DeSantis was there and he signed it. The national or international anti-hate Jewish laws, where you can't question who owns the media, you can't question who owns banking, you can't be against Israel in wars or right of determination, or you're guilty of a hate crime.
Yeah, we've been down this rabbit hole before. Ain't nobody gonna tell Harry what he can say, or how loud, or what context, or anything else.
Florida just passed the law, and then Tubberville up when the folks were demonstrating on the universities against the war in Israel. He said, they should all the protesters should be arrested. That's the First Amendment right in the United States.
Well, what if you can talk? So let me ask you this: what if somebody said on social media, Aaliyah sucks, and so does the city of Orange Beach police officer? Should they go kick his door down and put the city on lockdown?
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, well, it sounds like free speech to me, but we had to put everybody on lockdown. So did everybody?
We don't know what the threat was. They just tell us it was a credible threat, and so we locked everything down.
Yeah, hey, all you sheep, keep buying. Yeah, whatever you say, Mr. Mayor, whatever you say, we just take you at their word. Why? What was the credible threat? I'd love to know.
You should be able to criticize a
bunch of bullshit. All right, so then they got the breast pump 3000 or whatever.
You don't believe in the First Amendment. I understand.
Shit, I believe that's the only thing I believe in. That and the second, maybe the fourth and fifth.
Except for anything you don't agree with, apparently.
No, not at all. So surveillance concerns over Georgia's new use of drones during traffic stops. That's another thing that we need. Since we don't, so we have facial recognition with Clearview AI. We have the Flock camera system, the Flock license plate reader system, and now we're going to use drones to make sure everybody's safe.
And there's cameras on. Yeah, every
drones is an awful good way to catch speeders. Just get down the highway and you can just be tracking people. Oh no, Harry was doing 82. I have a state trooper pull him over down the road. I can see how that would, you could increase the efficiency of your troopers enormously.
So anyway,
yeah, if you're governor, you need to look into that.
So
I don't agree with it. I do not like the surveillance state. I don't like surveillance cameras. I particularly hate and they federally mandated this, I think in 2026, that all cars are going to have a computer on them that track how fast you're going, how quick you stop, how fast you accelerate, when you're speeding, when you're not speeding, and shares that data with insurance companies. I don't agree with any of that. I don't like the cameras. I don't like the cameras in the neighborhoods. I don't agree with those at all.
So another thing that see that real nice fireboat there, it's got pumps in it, and it'll spray water out of the top of the boat, put the fire out. But you gotta know how to turn the sumbitch on. Orange Beach, Florida Boater Freedom Act, effective July 1st. What every boater needs to know, and I'll let you guys look at that. But essentially, they can't just pull you over on a whim like they've been doing and harassing everybody. And so, the people of Florida all got together and said, yeah, that's enough. So, anyway, this week I was down on the Intracoastal on Friday, I think it was, or it was Thursday. And anyway, I've been staring at boats, particularly police boats, looking at a camera footage for a case all week. And so I see this boat going by, and I was like, I don't recognize that boat. And the guy with me, I said, do you recognize that police boat? And he goes, no. So it was obscured, and the other boat gets out of the way, and it says Sheriff's Department on it. So our Baldwin County Sheriff's Department got a $500,000 grant from Katie Britt so that we can buy this big-ass boat so we can patrol the rural areas of Baldwin County. So can you think of anything less rural than right there between Mama Lou? I'm talking about right under the bridge there as you're coming into Gulf Shores. So anyway, yeah, they're going to have to have probable cause. How are we going to stop the drug
traffickers and the human traffickers if we don't have a really cool, fast boat?
Yeah,
and then, if you were a young guy on a fast boat, where would you go? Go where all the girls in bikinis are. So it's like,
that'd be my patrol.
Thank you.
So anyway, if you see
little beach honeys are safe from the drug traffickers and the sex traffickers.
Thank you.
So if you see a black square package float up on the beach with a Yosemite Sam on it, yeah, that's cocaine. You should probably leave it alone. Washing up on Walton County beaches.
Your sheriff's deputy to come get that thing.
Yes, that's exactly what we need to do. So down here, Mobile, Amtrak has a start date. That's August, and they've got some real dirt cheap rates for the first couple round trips. I think it's like $35, which is kind of unheard of between here and New Orleans. I can do a lot of drinking on that, assuming they'll let you take booze on there, will it, Brandon?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll allow alcohol on the train or not.
Yeah, I imagine that bathroom would be all torn up. So the Clotilda descendants kick off a 4-day weekend for annual Leaf Festival. Do you know about the fake ship, the Clotilda? It's another one of these self-loathing psyops that the fake archaeologist Ben Raines found.
We know there was the Clotilda, and we know these people are descendants of the Clotilda. There's just a debate as to whether the shipwreck that was found is the Clotilda.
But we needed to find it now during the George Floyd era, you see, so that we have something here in Mobile to make people hate themselves.
If I found a cool shipwreck, I'd want it to be a cool ship.
It's not the Clotilda because it's not. They didn't sail it up the Mobile River. They sailed it up our side of the Delta, up the Blakely River. And we have the captain's log to prove it. So I don't know why we're still acting like we found the Clotilda. But all right. So here's a good one for you, Ken. So right now in Alabama, if I get shot dead by a police officer and there's an investigation into the shooting under the Lanyap versus Mack case, which happened right here in Baldwin County, Judge Stankowski, in his infinite wisdom, ruled that pending the grand jury seeing that thing and making a determination, that's a damn secret. That's not a public record. So what do you think about this? So now Homewood is saying it would jeopardize our investigation if we showed our police officer shooting this teenager dead. So where do you come down on this? You say you're all about free speech and you got on Captain America underoos under there. What do you think about the cops killing a child and hiding behind this bullshit law? Okay, he's 18 years old. He's a child.
No,
I was a child. I was an idiot till I was about 30.
Till I was 35, I'll assure you, he's a child.
Right. I think they should release the video. If it's incriminating, they may, that's maybe why they're not. The cops really have a hard time right now. Like I said, the inner cities, the schools aren't teaching our inner city kids, and they're not teaching any kids, and our entertainment industry and music industry, they're bombarding the kids with bad examples and getting them to, the thug life and, spanking all the hoes and all that. It's insane. And it's creating this violence that the officers have to deal with. I'm not saying this kid was or whatever, but I mean, and then also that, you see that the cop can never do right. I mean, the disrespect that kids are giving the cops these days boggles the mind. There's absolutely no discipline in our children these days. And the cops are the ones that have to deal with this. And that's not easy. Dealing with a pighead 18-year-old, I know he's a kid, but at 18, you're strong and you're fast. And,
if my understanding of the police report is correct.
Well, that's the problem, Brandon.
Well, I
you
mean,
don't get to do that. If you don't get why don't we
correct,
just get to see the video, Brandon?
The 18-year-old man
Bullshit.
pulled the gun and shot the officer first.
Oh my God, man!
We
don't know anything except what they're telling us.
We
don't know anything except what they're telling us. Why would you believe them? After what we've seen,
why would we assume they're wrong until it's proven beyond a doubt that they're wrong? The assumption should be what the officer
It's a public
said.
record. Show me the video.
Well,
if you don't want to have the video, fine. Don't wear it. Don't wear the body
Harry
camera.
is an attorney, Brandon. You got to understand that. He's an attorney.
I'm sorry.
That colors.
I'm going to argue until I die, I'm afraid. Mm-hmm. Sorry, man. Okay, so look, the next thing we got is we don't have Yellow Mama, but Governor Ivey, she loves to watch them choke out for some reason.
There's the inner
She
attorney
loves
going.
it. So breathe deep, Jeffrey Todd West, because we're going to kill your ass with nitrogen gas, which I thought you just went to sleep.
Technology. I mean, Adolf Hitler wishes he could have done this. We came up with this. This has been working pretty good. I don't want to die this way, but if you don't want the lethal injection, you don't like needles, we have another way of killing you, and it doesn't involve bullets or electricity.
We just give you some straight up nitrogen. I thought that it was nitrogen hypoxia, and you just kind of got a little loopy and fell asleep. But apparently, this last guy suffered bad. Like he was.
The deeper the breath you make, the less there's nothing there. I mean, you're breathing stuff, but it's just not doing you any good.
Government can screw up anything. Why can't they do it when your dog's, only got a day or two left, take him to the vet, give him a shot, and he goes to sleep.
Like I said, they can give me $1 million contract. I will go down to Colombia. I will get some good drugs. I will go to wherever. I will come back. We will have a party in there's no need for this to be scary. Harry's here.
Right.
He's going to take care. He's going to send you off, man. And they're dead.
Now between you and me, fentanyl. I mean, I'm not going to promote fentanyl anyway. Right. But yeah, there's dosages of fentanyl, which was actually designed so that they could do, surgeries on people.
Euthanasia.
It's not meant to be a recreational drug.
I mean, that's
fentanyl will kill you pretty quick in
we're talking about
small dose.
Right, fentanyl is horrible, and we do have a drug problem in Alabama and the United States, but it's not cannabis. Fentanyl. There was a girl I knew, and she got addicted to opioids when she was in a car accident, and she was on a fentanyl patch. She was she was fine physically, but when you get addicted to that stuff, if you don't take it, you're in pain. And it got so bad, I guess the doctors were. And she was on a fentanyl patch, and she broke up with her boyfriend for smoking pot. It's insanity, the drugs that the doctors are giving folks.
She must have gone to Judson. That sounds like a Judson girl.
I mean,
is there still Judson? I don't know.
No, they shut Judson down.
Good thinking.
Good.
Okay, so look, Madison County is going to build a new courthouse. And because they have an incompetent bunch of assholes running the building department, and obviously the county manager must be incompetent, because they have to go hire Volcker Engineering to do program management for them to the tune of $700,000 a year.
I wonder how much they donated to the Tubberville
I don't
campaign.
know. I know Leon and all them guys up there. I hope they make plenty of money. But like I said, they should hire more competent people there, so they won't have to go outsource.
Right.
Bring in up. So this is the most unbelievable thing I've ever heard of. Behavioral modification through state laws, and Brandon and I have this opinion that we don't know how any of these children are going to operate in the world if they don't spend the first 15 years of their lives getting the shit bullied out of them like everybody else that ever came before them. Do you agree, Brandon? Oh, my goodness. We're going to lose our driving privileges.
Bullying, but I do think the government is taking this a little bit too far.
Yeah, and think of it's like the Empire from Star Wars. Think of the apparatus that we're going to have in place to ensure children don't bully one another.
Well, parents could help a bunch if they would not give their kids a stupid phone for them to be on social media getting bullied or bullying all their little friends.
Those days are over with. You can't put that genie back in the bottle, but,
hey,
this is
phone,
stupid.
baby. It's there. Technology exists. You can make phone calls without being staring at a screen all day.
So, Ken, are you aware that if I want to look at some pornography, I have to give these guys in Uzbekistan or wherever the hell they are, I have to take a picture of my Star ID, right? A regular ID won't do. My Star ID, and send it to them so that I can look at pornography because and let me tell you that being a lawyer, I did notice this, and maybe you've noticed it too. 10 years ago or 20 years ago, half of the legislators in Alabama were lawyers. Guess what they are now?
70.
Law enforcement. Yes. So you get all this. There ought to be a law kind of Republican, right? Like Matt Simpson from down here, who's proposed a law for everything. Lawyer. And he's a lawyer. Of course, he's a prosecutor. So he thinks everything can be, everything's a nail, right? When you're a hammer, everything's a nail.
Pornography, they had pornography in Germany big time up to World War II. And your phone is monitoring everything you say. Well, if we say something here,
I don't care. Let's say me though. I don't care if somebody knows I'm looking at pornography.
I know, but the people that are putting the porn on the internet, that are exposing our kids to it, know every single thing about us.
I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about adult people looking at pornography. Right. Why should I have to? Do you think I should have to put my driver's license in to look at pornography in Alabama? You seem to be pretty libertarian.
The law says
the pornography the kids are being exposed to right now, and adults, but it's by design. And
okay, well, you sound like Ed Oliver on the on the issue of cannabis. He said, "I just heard about that kid that got a hold of that gummy, and I had to vote to get rid of all this hemp stuff. There's to protect the children." I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about adult people. Right. Like, I don't like Larry Flint. I didn't like his magazine, but he was if the Constitution protect a smut peddler like him, sure seems like it'd protect somebody like me, except I'm in the capitulation state of Alabama.
Smut the kid. The nonsense our kids are being exposed to and the amount of pornography.
Is this going to help, Ken? Hey, we've passed a law now. Is this going to help? It's not going to help. Kids can get around it.
We need to go after the people that are responsible for it.
For making porn, everybody that's got a phone has made porn at this point.
The legislature did not ban you looking at pornography. All it said was that if you want to look at pornography, you need to prove that you're at least 18 years old by showing the pornographers your driver's license.
That's a great idea.
If you have a driver's license and you're willing to share it with international pornographers, you can watch porn in Alabama on your phone.
I just wonder how much we really hate our own people.
Phones, I don't know if we're affected either.
But it's on kids' phones all day long. I would sneak a Playboy out when I was growing up, and the amount of stuff the kids see these days at a lot younger age than I did.
Well, that's when the legislature passed the rules that they passed. Now, they want to pass a rule where when you buy a phone in Alabama, It's got parental locks on there, so we
Perfect.
can't look at pornography unless we authorize the phone to look at pornography.
Hey,
I think a lot of this would be solved
guys,
if we just
hey,
give
80-year-old
phones to children.
guys, who in the hell here ever bought a phone for a child and before you handed it to him, you didn't turn on the parental controls? Why would there be a law, Brandon?
Or who
One
in the
more
hell
time.
Who in the hell had to ask their kid how to turn it on?
I don't know. Listen.
How do you turn this thing on?
Okay, Ken, let me tell you something else. But everybody thinks lawyers ride around drunk and doing drugs and everything else we want to, and it's quite the opposite. And another thing that you need to know, and the reason I'm comfortable with all this technology that's covering us up, is because it's incumbent upon me to stay on top of all the technological advances in the whole world, so that I can advise my clients about it. Think about it. Let that sink in for a second. Not that I'm required to have an email address by the Alabama State Bar, but I'm supposed to be an expert on technology and the law that's driving it. And for the most part, the law is about 10 years behind what's actually going on. So another place where everybody's behind the curve. Brandon, do you remember me talking about the serial killer of Lady Bird Lake like a year and a half ago? Yeah. Well, now that we found 32 bodies floating in Lady Bird Lake, everybody agrees that at this point it's probably a serial killer or a copycat killer or just where, Brandon disposes of his ex-girlfriends. But yeah, 32 seems like a lot of people. And everybody, so look, there's like an entertainment district right there, and everybody gets drunk. And, again, I think GHB, right? You just follow them, they walk across that little bridge and you push them over and they die.
Yeah,
no marks.
We live in an era where if you didn't see it open, don't drink it. I don't care whether it's alcohol, lemonade, orange juice, whatever.
I agree.
Especially if you're a hot, young, good-looking girl, because you just can't trust people anymore.
Okay, so do y'all know where the Fred Thompson Federal Building is? Do y'all remember Fred Thompson from The Hunt for Red October? Yeah. Okay, the actor. So anyway, up in Tennessee, so a lawyer sued, and he said, hey, these rules that we have here in Federal Middle District of Tennessee affect my First Amendment rights, and I ought to be able to talk about my case to, the press or do a podcast about it like Harry does, right? And so anyway, while he was shot down on the standing issue, the court did see the error of its ways and went and amended its rules. So it looks like that's going to be a rule across the board. And so anyway, any of you lawyers out there watching should go read this. It's on the Institute for Justice website, and they have a pretty good little video there you can watch. So besides me being skeptical of Robert Kennedy, the first thing he did when he got his Twitter handle, Ken, was he said the number one threat to America is the epidemic of anti-Semitism. And I said, holy shit. They put a chip in him when they said they were taking that worm out, right?
I could not believe he said that. It's like, God.
I was like, wow, they even got their hand up his butt moving his mouth. So anyway, Robert Kennedy says there's some really bad stuff going on in the food industry. So did anybody think that either that powder shit that you put on mac and cheese or the stuff that comes out of the little silver pack, did anybody ever think that shit was good for you? No.
I like macaroni and cheese. I like Velveeta. Do I think it's good for you? Probably not.
Absolutely not. Like the worst thing on the planet. It's like a Twinkie. It'd be like if he came out and said Twinkies aren't health food.
Too. I have a very disciplined diet, and very extremely disciplined diet. And the girls at my work do not listen to a word I say. I'll tell them the stuff you're eating is poison every single day for years. They don't listen. And it is. It's literally poison, and it's addictive. And people don't care. I don't understand it. It boggles my mind.
So I'm addicted to nicotine and sugar and anything that doesn't have. So I have a gluten allergy. So I have to be real careful. You wouldn't know looking at me. I have to be careful what I eat. But But yeah, so I've been.
I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day till I was 40, and I'd do a 100-mile bike ride. Me and a buddy, 500 riders and a 100-mile bike ride. Him and I came in first and second. Got off the bike, lit a cigarette.
Yeah, one of my buddies is he's a marathoner, and that's the first thing he does when he gets done. Smoking my big.
The Tour de France guys. They used to go and they thought cigarette smoking opened up the lungs.
Yeah, that's some Brandon Mosley, St. Clair County wisdom. What? So Brandon, what do we think about this whole thing? The Tubberville money. What do you predict?
I don't want to hurt Ken's feelings, but I'm predicting at this point a Tommy Tubberville landslide victory.
Well, you don't know that. Hey, remember Mike Dukakis?
Things can change, but that's where we're
was
at.
Supposed to be president. Like crazy shit's happened before. I mean, you got to remember, there's been all kinds of momentum shifts. And who's to say?
And I, honest to God, think people are waking up. You cannot give more money in one of the most politically corrupt states in the nation, and let him raise more money than any other politician in Alabama's history. And it's like, who are you working for? It's insanity. What Alexis de Tocqueville or whatever, the 18th century guy that wrote Democracy in America. He said in the 1800s that money not only did not help you win elections, it actually prevented you, it hurt you from winning elections. People would not vote for you if you had money. That's when America became great.
But in the Tubberville's days, we just didn't have good political consultants.
There you go.
And we understand, mass media and the internet.
Why is there a scantily clad girl?
I don't know why we have that on there.
This is Today in History. Today in History. Anna Nicole Smith met her future husband, and they immediately had chemistry. Notice that? See that big smile? Yeah. Okay.
Well, they probably did have chemistry. He had what she wanted. She had what he wanted.
There you go. So Mosley, what's going on this week up in Montgomery?
Well, like I said, we're looking to see if more candidates get in these races. We just, as Ken's aware, we just had our fundraising deadline. So we're going to be able to go through all the cool reports at the Secretary of State's office to see who had much money and, how much they raised. The AG's raise, money-wise has become interesting. Catherine Green Robertson, finally, now she was actually running right there at the end of June and, pulled in a whole bunch of money, into that race. That's something we probably will be looking at this week at the Gazette.
Seems like the bar summer meeting is coming up. Does that sound right?
It would sound like the summer meeting probably would be in the summer.
July, second week of July. So I think I got that coming up, and then
I do want to go back for a second though to what's happening in Madison County. I think that's created a little bit of stir in Alabama, and it's woken some people up onto who Tupperville's campaign is supporting. There were some mothers and fathers down there that went up against the establishment and the school system. Got a couple of people that resigned as a result. And then Tupperville supposedly hired one of them as a political consultant. And this is one
I've not been able to confirm that.
Or deny. Why haven't they denied it?
It's being reported on message boards. But,
Right. That's what I've seen a lot. I mean, I started a news show. My theory behind that is no one believes it until they see it on the news. So I started
until I have 2 sources telling me that's what actually happened.
Right. Well, I had some sources telling me down in Madison County.
I'm not saying I can't tell you that he has not hired him.
No, but you did reach out to
I only have one credible source saying that he has.
but you reach out to his campaign and they haven't returned your call or haven't returned your message.
I mean, they have a list of people that do work for the campaign, and Jonathan Gray, when I last looked at it, I guess on Thursday, was not on that list. It doesn't mean that it's not true, but I just, we're getting ahead of the news cycle there.
Right.
As usual. All right. Well, hey, Ken, thank you so much for your being here. We really appreciate it. You're a good sport, man. I got to give you that. And you stood your ground.
I am running for governor, but I'm having fun doing it. I mean, there's no way anyone's going to take on Tubberville. He is the undisputed world champion of. He's going to be governor. I mean, the media will tell you that.
When he ran for U.S. Senator, I mean, he beat Roy Moore, John Merrill, Jeff Sessions, our own, very good close friend, Bradley Byrne, and then unseated Senator Doug Jones. So, I mean, he laid down,
since
heavyweights in Alabama politics,
Since then, while he's up in D.C., he traded more in the stock market than any other senator up there. Number one, there's 100 senators. He's traded more stock up there than any other senator. That's not who you want running your state. I mean, it's like you mentioned his net worth now. I wonder how much his net worth has increased since he's been a senator.
I heard it was tenfold.
That's what I'm thinking, right? And that's insanity. It's all about money with that guy. And then he comes in here, I am going to be your next governor. Not saying I'm going to run. The media is calling it a foregone conclusion. No, it's about money. I mean, it's about money and giving out contracts.
If it was all about money, I mean, Tommy Tubberville probably could go find some mid-tier college football team that needs a head coach, and they pay him $2 million. I mean,
yeah, but this is no. What he's talking about is mind-blowing amounts of money. Like, say, we come in and we make this a haven for Bitcoin, right? Mind-blowing amounts of money.
That it would take the state legislature agreeing.
Well, how hard is it for if a catatonic 80-year-old woman can get this shit passed that Meemaw just did? Just imagine a guy who can actually walk around on his own and speak for himself and debate other people. I would imagine he's going to be able to get a whole lot of shit done right there by himself.
And I know there's really only 3 guys or 4 guys or guys and gals in the state legislature that actually have the power. So you don't have to convince the whole state legislature.
Well, and Brandon and I have talked about it many times. There's 30 people that run this state. Right. It's not 300. It's not 3,000. Yeah. It's about 30 people that make the decisions that affect our lives.
In the history, in modern history, has had as close and harmonious a working relationship with the legislature as Kay Ivey. I can't explain it, but it's a fact. I mean, I covered.
She's got some good people working for her.
And whatever he suggested, Mike Hubbard and Dale Marsh were probably going to kill it.
I would like to say one thing though, as we're wrapping it up. There's 3 things that I'm really concerned with running for governor: farming, education, and medicine. Farming is the only way we can have independence. We've got to be able to feed ourselves. Education, I wanted to see, and that just to let the 30 people that are in charge of the state, I'm not at war with them. I'm not trying to change the way contracts are given out. I'm not trying to do anything. I want to get us to be able to feed ourselves, which is independence. I want our kids to be educated. I want to be able to fast track veterans who've had 1 or 2 terms being in the military. Give them a very simple fast track teaching certificate. It doesn't cost a lot of money. get them in the classrooms. If we can do that, we can turn education around by teaching values, discipline, and virtues in our school. We can start teaching kids next year, at the year after I'm elected. And medicine. I mean, medicine, the doctors, it's unbelievable the garbage that people are ingesting into their body. But medicine's now the number 3rd killer in the United States. Doctors are prescribing amphetamines to 10-year-olds that have ADHD. Amphetamines, lifetime addiction of amphetamines when you're 10 years old. They're giving statins to elderly patients that's destroying their minds. And it's insane. And the doctor, how do you become a doctor? If you are our schools are set up for compliance. If you comply and then you regurgitate what you've been told, you will get into medical school if you really excel at that. The people in medical schools did not stand up for us, our doctors did not stand up for us during the pandemic because they don't have any leaders in there. Our educational system is not producing leaders, and doctors are taking the best people that were educated in our educational system, not leaders, compliers. That's why none of the doctors stood up. We got to turn around medicine. And what, in 1970, with inflation-adjusted dollars, we're spending $2,000 per person. Now we're spending $14,000 per person, and people are unhealthy. It's a money-making business now. It's not about healing. It's about treating. If you treat someone, you make money. If you heal them, you lose money. And I'm not at war with the 30 people that run the state of Alabama at all.
I am.
I understand. I'm not disagreeing with you entirely on the medicine, but isn't that a federal issue? The federal has stepped in, and it's they who regulate, the drug companies. And let's be honest, it's the federal government who's paying most people's health care through Medicare, Medicaid, Obamacare subsidies, VA benefits, and federal, workers' insurance. That they're by far and away most Americans get better. Even if they're not aware of it, at least subsidies from the federal government, and they control that industry with a fist. Is that
right?
There anything
the federal government does? They don't control the industry. They're told what to do by the people in control, and that's why we're in the position we're in right now. You got to have someone standing up to these people. And I thought, Kennedy would, but then, the worst thing that can ever happen. Anti-Semitism is the worst problem in the United States.
There's no doubt that that's killing more people and causing more angst than bombs or bullets or amoebas,
it's insanity.
Coronaviruses. All right, so guys, we're going to watch an outro. Anyway, every time I go out in my kayak or go walk my dog down to the landing, I take a trash bag with me because my fellow Alabamians don't know what to do with their garbage, and especially in our waterways. So I thought we would talk a little bit about people having some damn self-respect and picking your damn garbage up. You sorry ass trashy people.
If we put the military in our schools, we wouldn't have that problem. We've had kids with values, virtues, and discipline. They wouldn't be doing it.
So listen, man, I'd have cut every throat in that school if you'd put a bunch of military guys in charge of my school. That would not have been a good idea. The best thing to do is let kids like me get away with it. Let us get away with it just a little bit, and we'll end up being the leaders of your school. All right, so this is our outro. Wheeler Wildlife Refuge, Tennessee River Cleanup.
7 volunteers with Tennessee River Keeper rolled up their sleeves and got to work removing trash from the Wheeler Wildlife Refuge on the Tennessee River. They filled 14 bags of trash and 4 bags of recyclables that weighed 280 pounds from the river. According to officials, the majority of the trash removed was made from some form of plastic, styrofoam, plastic bottles, and shopping bags. The team also removed traffic cones and a tire. Tennessee River cleanups have removed more than 4,500 pounds of litter from our waterways.